Okay, hello everyone. Good morning. This will be the last lecture in academic writing one. We'll continue with the sixth chapter, which was about expressing your opinion. We took the first part in the last lecture, which was about the transition signals and so on. Today we will continue with the sentence structure. We'll be learning more about the complex sentence and about the dependent clauses. We will take a new kind, which is called adjective clauses. We took before the adverb clauses. We said that they describe time and they modify and they describe verbs and adverbs and adjectives also. But here today, we will take a new kind, which is adjective clauses. After that, we will take punctuations, rule of punctuation for the quotation marks, and we will, inshallah, finish our lecture and our interpretation for this course or for this subject. So part 2, sentence structure. We have taken before a general idea about the dependent clauses, such as the adverb clauses, which obviously begin with a subordinated conjunction. Okay, I think in chapter 3, we discussed the independent clauses and the dependent clauses explicitly. We took one kind, which is adverb clauses, and we said they are called adverb because they describe adverbs and adjectives, and also they describe verbs. And we said in these adverb clauses, we have the subordinated conjunction, such as because, since, and whenever, whatever, and also when and while. Okay. That was in the adverb clauses. Right now, anyhow, we will take another kind of these clauses. We will take another kind of these clauses, which is called the adjective clauses. Okay. Okay, first, they have been called adjective clauses because they act like adjectives. That is, they describe nouns. We all know that adjectives only modify nouns. They describe nouns. They give more information, or maybe not more information, necessary information about nouns. This is as the function of the adjective clauses. They describe nouns. For example, this man who wears a black jacket is my friend. If we delete that, if we said this man is my friend, it's still not obvious, because when you say this man is my friend, okay, which man? Which man you are talking about? I have a lot of men here. So when I add this adjective clause and I say this man who wears a black jacket, right now I identify that. I gave a specific description that this man who is wearing a black jacket is my friend. Oh, right now I know what you are talking about. There is a man who wears a black jacket. Okay, it seems that that is your friend. Also, there are animals which lay eggs in the sand of the sea called oviparous, and so on. Some doors that were broken are used now. So when you delete, if you delete the adjective clause, sometimes the sentence becomes not obvious, and sometimes this adjective clause is real necessary to understand the meaning of the sentence. Okay. For instance, in the second example, which lay eggs in the sand of the sea, this adjective clause is not necessary. Okay. Whenever you say it, or you didn't say it, it is still obvious, because oviparous, they are known animals. Okay. This is the scientific name of them. But in the third example, some doors that were broken, okay, Some doors that were broken are useless now. So if you delete the adjective clause and you said some doors are useless now, I have millions of doors. Which door are you talking about? Which doors are you talking about? Then I identify and then I describe these doors and say that were broken. There are specific doors that are broken. They are now not useful. They are useless. So obviously the adjective clauses, they describe nouns. They give more information or they give necessary information. Right now, we will discuss the two kinds explicitly. So obviously adjective clauses begin with these words, who, which, and that. And we also have another two types or another two words, but we won't taking them in this course, which are whom and whose. But right now we'll be focusing on these three words, who, which, and that. Moreover, the uses for them are who is used for people, which is used for things, and that is also for things, but it is used for people in informal English. Right now, maybe you will wonder why we use that and which for things. I mean, like we can use only one, but right now we'll see that that has special conditions. Anyhow, who is for people, which for things, and that is also for things, but it can be used for people in informal English. But here we are learning formal academic writing, so it is formal, it is absolutely formal. So don't use that for people. Also, they always follow the noun that they give information about. So because they act like adjectives, they have to follow the noun that they give information about. Because of this, they always come after the noun that they give information about, whether this information was necessary or this information was extra information. For example, my friend, this is the noun, who studies physics is intelligent. So as you can see, who studies physics, this is the adjective clause, and it followed the noun, which gave the information about, okay? So it always followed the noun. Sometimes, okay, this is the most important thing about punctuation. Sometimes we put commas in using them, but sometimes we just don't. We will explain this right now, later. So there is some situations that you put commas between around the adjective clause, and sometimes you just don't. You don't put any comma. The use of commas here is determined by the necessity of the information. So if the information is necessity, there's a condition. And if the information just extra information, if it is not necessary, there is another condition. So first, right now we are talking about the importance. If the information is important, necessary to identify the noun. So if we have a noun and it is not obvious, and we need this adjective clause, this information to identify the noun, to make it, well, to make it understandable, we don't put commas, okay? If the information is necessary, we don't put commas. For instance, they rented an apartment that was located in the near neighborhood. The student who is sitting next to the window isn't paying attention. Okay, note well. I mean, like right now, how can I differentiate between if the information is necessary or if the information is not necessary? Okay, this is really easy. You can, for example, you can delete the adjective clause and you try to understand the sentence. For example, for the first instance, if you said they rented an apartment and you deleted the adjective clause that was located in the near neighborhood, you didn't say it, you just deleted it. They rented an apartment. Okay, which apartment they rented? There are hundreds of apartments in our neighborhood. Which apartment they rented? Okay, you see that the sentence is not clear. It is vague. It needs something to make it more clearer. So because of that, we add the adjective clause that describes the noun, which is the apartment. So this apartment is located in the near neighborhood. They rented an apartment that was located in the near neighborhood. So right now I understand that the apartment that they rented, it is in our neighborhood, etc., etc. Second example, the student who is sitting next to the window isn't paying attention. Try to delete the adjective clause. The student isn't paying attention. Okay, right now imagine that you are sitting in a class and your friend came to you and he told you the student isn't paying attention. Like, you will reply to him and say, I have more than 35 students in the class. Which student are you talking about? Which student here isn't paying attention? So the sentence is not clear. It is general. Are you saying that all the students are not paying attention? So when you add the adjective clause, who is sitting next to the window? Okay, right now I understand that there is one student that is sitting next to the window. This student isn't paying attention. And this is the function. This is the function of the adjective clause. It describes the noun. It makes it more obvious, makes it identifiable. Okay. But without it, the sentence will be general. It won't be clear. In this case, we don't put commas, okay? In this case, we don't put commas. Anyhow, if the noun is identified without a need of the adjective clause, we use commas to clarify it is unimportant. Okay, to clarify it is unimportance, it is not something written in the book. I wrote it by myself, but try to memorize it like this. I mean, like, the commas try to tell us that this sentence isn't important. It is just an extra information. Let's read the examples. Ahmad, who is wearing a red jacket, is my friend. Okay, you have a friend who his name is Ahmad, okay, and he is your friend at the end. Whether he is wearing a red jacket or he is wearing a t-shirt or he's not wearing a jacket, he is still your friend with wearing a jacket, without wearing a jacket. So if you deleted the adjective clause here, Ahmad is my friend. Okay, Ahmad is your friend. And if you added it, Ahmad, who is wearing a red jacket, is my friend, there is no difference. You just describe the noun. And the noun is identified. It is clear. Okay, it is clear without the adjective clause. So here, the adjective clause is not necessary. It is just an extra information. Okay, it is identified without a need of the adjective clause. Because of this, we put commas to say that this is just an extra information. There is no need for it, but it just gives more extra information about this noun. Okay, my school, which is located in the near neighborhood, is excellent. Okay, try to delete it, which is located in the near neighborhood. My school is excellent. Okay, we all have one school that we studied, okay, in all our life. Maybe we have two schools, but in the end, it is your school. So whenever you use the adjective clause or you didn't use it, my school is excellent. Okay, I know your school. Maybe it is Dar al-Arqam school. Whether it is located in your neighborhood or whether it was located in Mars or in Neptune or maybe in America, it is still your school and it is still excellent. I don't need to know its location because I know where is your school. So this is an extra information, okay? My school, which is located in the near neighborhood, is excellent. And also the same meaning will be my school is excellent because it is your school at the end. It is known without describing it. So without the adjective clause, the sentence is absolutely clear, okay? This is the difference. When you have a necessary information, that if you remove this adjective clause, this necessary information, the sentence will become general, will become vague. It won't be clear. Okay, so in this case, we don't put commas. Okay, in this case, we don't put commas. But if the sentence, if the adjective clause was extra information, if you deleted it, the sentence will still hold its meaning without adding this adjective clause. In this case, you put commas. Okay, this is all about the punctuation. Okay, right now we will talk about that. Before I told you previously, I told you that uh, we have which that is used for things, and we also have that is also used for things. But you have to know that we use that in important clauses only. So don't ever put commas with it, because we don't put commas with important things, okay? So obviously don't use that with extra information. No, we only use it with obvious information. I mean, with important information. Your dictionary that is written by Oxford University is on the table. Okay, I know that this is your dictionary. No one holds more than 3 dictionaries, or maybe even 2 dictionaries. So whether it was written by Oxford University or by Harvard or by maybe Stanford, any kind of university, it is still your dictionary. It is a dictionary that gives definitions. I don't care which university wrote it. So this adjective clause that is written by Oxford University, it is not important. It is extra information. So that must not be used here, because we only use it with important clauses. So I replace that with which, because which is used for things, and dictionary is a thing. It is not people. It is not, it's not people. So I have to replace it with which. Your dictionary, which is written by Oxford University, is on the table. Okay, this sentence is true, but the first sentence is false, because it is not used with unimportant information. We only use it with important. And for this reason, because it's only used with important, I don't ever put commas with it. So if you saw this word that in the exam, surrounded, or maybe it has a comma before it and a comma after it, you must put wrong in it or false, because it is not used with unimportant information. And unimportant information always are surrounded by commas. Okay, now since the adjective clause is obviously a clause, okay, because it is adjective clause, it will be absolutely an independent clause, because alone it doesn't have a meaning. Right now we will clarify this more. Therefore, writing it alone will create only a half sentence, a fragment. We discussed previously, okay, for the fragments. Fragments mean that they are half a sentences or half a thing. They are not complete thing. So it needs to be joined to an independent clause to compose a full and complete sentence. This is about the dependent clauses. Okay, my friend is genius who lives next door. Okay, my friend is genius. This is an independent clause, and it is also a complete sentence. Who lives next door? It is dependent clause, or it is adjective clause, absolutely, because alone, who lives next door? Who lives next door? Who is this person who lives next door? It doesn't hold any meaning. Okay, alone, there is something missing. You can't understand anything from it. Who lives next door? If I came to you and I told you, Khaled, who lives next door? There is no meaning here, okay? But at the first sentence, my friend is genius. Okay, I'm telling you that I have a friend, and this friend is genius. Anyhow, by composing them together, the independent clause and the dependent, my friend who lives next door is genius. I'm creating here a complex sentence because obviously I have an independent clause and also a dependent clause. Okay, right now we have just discussed the complex sentences again, and we said that we have an adjective clause and an independent clause, okay, and we compose them together, they create a complex sentence. Before this, we discussed the complex sentences and we discussed the adverb clauses that include the subordinated conjunction in them, the subordinated conjunctions, such as since, because, and when, while. And we said after that, we talked and we discussed the fragments. So obviously here, after we discussed the adjective clauses and composing a complex sentence, we also will talk about fragments. So to make it easy on you, here is the conclusion. Without a lot of talking, we will say the conclusion. Whenever you write an adjective clause, okay, plus its noun alone, okay, the adjective clause and its noun alone, you are making a fragment, non-complete sentence or non-complete thought, non-complete idea. You are making a nonsense sentence that doesn't hold any complete meaning. For instance, here is the noun, Ahmed, who also takes night classes, and I stopped. The cat which eats a lot, and I stopped. The book that was on the table, and I stopped. You can understand here, you can observe, and you can notice that there is no complete meaning. If I came to you and I told you, my cat which eats a lot, and I put a period and I stopped, what will you understand? Absolutely nothing. There is no complete idea here. My cat, which eats a lot. Okay, what should I understand? What do you mean when you say my cat, which eats a lot? Did something happen to her? You can find a lot of questions here because the sentence is not obvious. It is not completed. Ahmed, who also takes night classes, and I stopped. You don't understand anything from it. You can't understand because Ahmed, he is taking a night classes. So who also takes a night classes, and I stopped. There's no complete meaning. The book that was on the table. Okay, the book that was on the table. What benefits do I get if I know this? That there was a book on the table. So you see that here there must be a complement from the sentence, not an independent clause. Okay, there's a difference between the adverb clauses and the adjective clauses. The adverb clauses, they are dependent clauses by themselves, and they need an independent clause. But here we are using the adjective clause plus the noun. So they don't need a dependent clause. No, they only need a complement. A complement. Right now, we will see what I mean. In order to fix this problem, you can complete the missing sentence. Okay, not an independent clause, but just completing it. So we don't need a full sentence to complete it. No, we just need a complement. For example, Ahmed, who takes night classes, is very busy. Okay, this is the complement. The words in yellow, they are complements. My cat, which eats a lot, is too fat. The book that was on the table is for the teacher. So you can understand that we don't need a full sentence. We don't need an independent clause. No, we only need a complement. A complement from you to create it. This, if this, in condition if this question came in exams, I mean. So it doesn't need an independent clause. It only needs a complement. And also note well that all of these are complex sentences. All of these three examples are complex sentences because here we have the dependent clause and we also have an independent clause. Okay, maybe right now you'll get perplexed by how can we have here an independent clause, and you have just said that we don't need an independent clause. Okay, if you deleted the dependent clause, which is who takes night classes, okay, if you deleted this, who takes night classes, and also if you deleted which eats a lot, you are creating a complete sentence. Right now, we'll see this in the second solution. Or just delete who, which, and that in the order to make a simple sentence. For instance, this is without completing. Ahmed takes night classes. Okay, I deleted who. Ahmed, who takes night classes. I deleted who. Ahmed takes night classes. Right now, this is a complete sentence, and it is also a simple sentence. My cat, I deleted which, and I said, my cat eats a lot. So this is a simple sentence. The book was on the table. I deleted that. The book was on the table, and this is also a simple sentence. Okay, right now, backing to what I have just said, how can I have a complex sentence if you have just said that we don't need an independent clause? Okay, I said before that the adjective clause, it is a dependent clause. But here, We are making a fragment if we join the adjective clause with its noun. Okay, so here the problem that we have a noun. Okay, so Ahmad, who also takes night classes, okay, we have a noun, but the dependent clause, it's the clause that starts with who, which, and that, who also takes night classes. This is the dependent clause, which eats a lot. This is the dependent clause, but the before it, it is just the noun. We don't care about it. So here, Ahmed, who takes night classes, is very busy. If I deleted the dependent clause, which is the adjective clause, okay, I will create the complete sentence, which is the independent clause. Okay, because the independent clause, it is a complete sentence. Ahmed, and delete the adjective clause or the dependent clause, who takes night classes, I delete it right now. Ahmed is very busy. This is a complete sentence. If I deleted the dependent clause. My cat, I delete the dependent clause. My cat is too fat. This is also a complete sentence, and it is also an independent clause. The book, delete that was on the table, delete it. The book is for the teacher. This is also an independent clause. Okay, so this is the difference, that in fragments about the adjective clauses, the problem here that we have nouns. This is related to the adverb clauses, if you want to differentiate between them. The adverb clauses, they are separately dependent clauses and independent. But here in adjectives clauses, we have the dependent clause plus the noun. The adjective clause plus the noun is a fragment, okay? Okay, but notes here that sometime, because we mentioned in the second solution that you can delete who, which, and that, and you create a simple sentence, but you have to note that this, okay, this solution doesn't always work. Sometimes when you delete who, which, and that, you are not making a meaningful sentence, okay? For example, schools which built in my city. Okay, this is a fragment, right? Because we have noun, schools, and we also have the dependent clause, which is which built in my city. But here, if you deleted which alone, you are not making a meaningful sentence. Deleting which. Schools built in my city. Okay, if I came to you and I told you, schools built in my city, what would you understand? What is the point? Okay, yani, what do you mean when you say schools built in my city? There is no meaningful meaning here. You can't understand anything. Schools built in my city. So the more correct way to fix fragments about the adjective clauses is to add complement, okay? You have to complete it. So try always to complete, not to delete. But deleting can work sometimes, but not always. The solution that always works is completing. So it is better in this case to complete the sentence. The schools which built in my city are excellent. Because if you deleted them, who, which, and that, you won't create a meaningful sentence. So try always to complete the sentence. Schools which built my city are excellent. Right now, we'll be moving to the punctuation. Okay, about the quotation marks. We finished with adjective clauses. I hope it is all clear. It must be easy because we took before the complex sentence and the dependent clause and the independent clause. Anyhow, we are moving right now to the quotation marks. The quotation marks are really important because you will quote some sayings for some people. You will bring some information from outside sources. So you need quotation marks. Okay, you need to know how they are punctuated. Okay, in opinion paragraphs, the paragraphs that we discussed in this chapter, you will sometimes need to quote some sayings. So here are the right punctuation for the quotation marks. Rules. The first rule, put quotation marks before and after another person's exact words. So whenever you bring a words or a sayings from a person, at the first you put a quotation mark, and at the end, you also put a quotation mark. Classmate Sabrina Reyes says, and you have to notice that we put a comma here. Mothers of young children, etc., until you reach the end, you put also a quotation mark. So you surround the saying of this person, of this extra, of this, outside information with quotation mark, before and after. Okay, this is the first rule. The second rule, okay, here we all know it, reporting phrases. In the reported speech, I think we took this in schools. So always use reporting phrases such as he says or she stated. The reporting phrase can come before, okay, after, or in the middle. You have to focus here on the punctuation. Separate it with a comma or two commas. If the reporting phrase came at the first, we put a comma after the reporting phrase. She stated, comma, then I put the quotation marks as the first rule says. She stated, comma, quotation mark. It is not easy to be a single mother. And then I put a period, okay, I put a period, then I put a quotation mark. If the reporting phrase came in the middle, I put quotation marks. It is not easy. Then I put a comma. Then I close the saying by another quotation mark. Then I write the reporting phrase. She stated. Then I put another comma. So if the reporting phrase came in the middle, I put two commas, one before and one after. Then I start to continue the outside source to be a single mother, okay? And I put the period. But focus that we put here 4 quotation marks. And we also put 2 commas. So you have to focus on the punctuation. In the end, if the reporting phrase came at the end, it is really simple. The 2 simple here are if it came first and if it came at the end. Maybe if it came in the middle, you have to put a lot of punctuations. But anyhow, they are really easy. It is not easy to be a single mother. You focus here that we don't put a period. No, we put a comma. Okay, but inside the quotation marks. And after that, I put she stated and I close it with a period. Also, you can choose according to. We discussed this. Okay, we discussed this previous in this chapter. According to classmate Sabrina Reyes, we said that after according to, you put the name of the person who said this outside information. Then you say what he have said. According to classmate Sabrina Reyes, I put a comma. Then I open the quotation marks, mothers of young children, etc., until I reach the end, and I put a period and then another quotation mark. Another use for reporting phrase is according to. If you use someone's exact words after according to, use quotation marks. Okay, this is obvious. The third rule, begin each quotation with a capital letter. Okay, this is really important. Whenever you bring a quotation, you have to start it with a capital letter. But if you split it apart, we have seen in the middle, it is not easy. Then we put a comma, and we said after that she stated, we don't put a capital letter in the second half. Okay, right now we will see. When a quoted sentence is separated into 2 parts, begin the second part with a small letter. It is not easy, comma, she stated, comma, then I don't put a capital letter, okay? I only put a capital letter at the beginning. It is not easy. I capitalized it. I capitalized the I in it. But I didn't capitalize the letter T in 2 because it is the second part. So if the quoted sentence is separated, the first part you started with a capitalized letter, but the second part you don't capitalize it. The fourth rule and the most important, commas, periods, and question marks, they all go inside the second quotation mark of a pair. So the thing that the rule wants to say here, whenever you have a comma, whenever you have a period, whenever you have a question mark, don't put it outside the quotation mark, put it inside. She said, comma, okay, then I bring the quotation, goodbye. I put the period inside the quotation marks, not outside. Don't leave so soon. I put the comma inside it. Okay, he replied. Then I put the period because here I don't have quotation marks. Why not? I don't put the question mark outside the quotation mark. No, I put it inside. Why not? Question mark. Then I close my quoted sentence. She asked, and I put a period because we don't have quotation marks here. But also, if you have two separated sentences, as we have just discussed, it is not easy. Notice here that we put the comma inside, okay? But the second comma, we don't put it inside, we put it outside. But also we put the period inside. So it is not easy, comma, we close our quotation. She stated, we put a comma after stated. Then we open another quotation marks. To be a single mother, we put a period inside the quotation. So you always have to focus that commas, period, and question marks, they all go inside the quotation marks. Okay, this is the end of the chapter 6. So good luck, all of you. I hope you do well in this semester, and I hope Allah will يعني يوفقكم وينجحكم إن شاء الله ويعطيكم ألف عافية.